There is a kind of predator that does not chase, does not roar, does not make its presence known. It waits. Quietly, silently, patiently. Most people imagine predators as fast, violent, and obvious. But the most dangerous ones, they are invisible. They are the friend who listens, the colleague who smiles, the partner who seems endlessly understanding. They don't need to overpower you. They only need to wait until you are distracted, tired, or desperate. And then, when your guard is down, they strike. Niccolò Machiavelli once warned, "The wise man does at once what the fool does at last." But the predator inverts this. They do nothing until the fool acts first. And that is why patience is the ultimate weapon of manipulation. Stay with me until the end of this video, because once you see how predators use patience in daily life, you'll start noticing it everywhere. At work, in relationships, even in yourself. And you'll never fall for it again. Think of a spider. It doesn't chase its prey. It spins a web perfectly still and lets time do the work. The fly entangles itself. The spider only had to wait. Manipulators are no different. They know most people will eventually reveal their weakness without pressure. People confess secrets when they're tired. They make mistakes when they're rushed. They surrender when they feel safe. The manipulator waits for these moments. They don't force, they observe. They don't demand, they anticipate. And here's the terrifying truth. If someone in your life seems endlessly patient, it may not be a virtue. It may be strategy. Imagine this. You're working on a team project. You feel safe, confident, even supported. But one colleague, the quiet one, the observer, never challenges you, never pushes back. They simply nod, smile, and let you lead. Until the deadline approaches, suddenly they reveal the one flaw you overlooked. They present it to the boss as if they've been protecting the project all along. And now, you look careless, and they look indispensable. They didn't outwork you. They outweighted you. Or in relationships. Not everyone who listens quietly is harmless. The manipulative partner knows not to argue during your strong moments. They wait for you to come home after a long day, exhausted, vulnerable. That's when they bring up what they want. They don't yell. They don't demand. They simply time their words so your resistance is lowest. You think you made the choice freely, but in reality, you were ambushed at your weakest point. Machiavelli himself understood this deeply. He wrote, "Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times." Patience, then, is not idleness. It is waiting for the right time. Manipulators know that power does not belong to the loudest voice in the room. Power belongs to the one who can wait until everyone else speaks, reveals, and commits, so that they can strike with certainty. Think about social circles. You share stories with friends, little vulnerabilities, mistakes, or confessions. Most laugh and move on. But one person, always listening, always remembering, says nothing. Weeks later, in an argument, they bring up your own words. Out of context, twisted, weaponized. They didn't invent ammunition. You handed it to them. All they had to do was wait. Here's the part most people never realize. The manipulator doesn't just wait for random weakness. They engineer it. They know that if they stay calm while others rush, emotions will eventually exhaust you. If they give you silence while you ramble, you'll reveal more than you should. If they delay asking for something, you'll feel guilty and more likely to comply. Silence, delay, patience, it all feels harmless. But it's a trap. And now you're starting to see how dangerous this is. If this video has already opened your eyes, pause for a moment and make sure you're subscribed. Because what you're learning here, most people will never see in their lifetime. They'll keep falling for the same psychological traps while you're breaking free. So stay until the end, because the final strategy I'll reveal is the one that almost no one sees coming. Let's shift to money and power. In negotiations, amateurs rush. They fill the silence. They lower their demands. They compromise too quickly. But the seasoned manipulator knows whoever speaks first loses, so they wait. Minutes of silence can feel unbearable for most people. Sooner or later, the weaker side caves, offering more than they should. Patience is not passive here. It is pressure. The longer they wait, the more you suffocate under your own anxiety. Another place manipulators weaponize patience: favors. Have you ever noticed someone doing something small for you, then waiting? They don't ask for anything right away. They let months pass. You forget. And then, suddenly, they call in the favor, and it's far bigger than what they gave. Why do you comply? Because the time delay makes you feel indebted without defense. Gratitude becomes a leash. This is why manipulative people often appear generous in the beginning. It's an investment. They're planting seeds they'll harvest later. Perhaps the most unsettling tactic of patient manipulators is how harmless they appear. People fear the aggressive, the loud, the obvious. But the predator who waits appears harmless, kind, and trustworthy. That's the mask. It's easy to defend yourself from someone attacking you openly. It's almost impossible to defend yourself from someone who smiles, listens, and seems endlessly patient. Because you never suspect them until it's too late. Here's a scenario you may have lived through. An argument. Most people fight back, raise their voice, try to win immediately. But the manipulator? They go silent. They let you yell, expose your emotions, reveal every insecurity. They wait until you're drained. Then, with one calm sentence, they dismantle you. It's not intelligence, it's patience. And it works because they let you burn yourself out. Patience alone is not power. But patience combined with timing, that's lethal. The manipulator waits for your weakest moment. When you're lonely, they step closer. When you're broke, they offer help. When you're desperate, they become your savior. But every kindness hides a hook. Every silence hides calculation. Every delay hides strategy. They don't rush because they don't need to. They know you'll eventually walk into their web yourself. So how do you defend against the predator's patience? First, never mistake silence for harmlessness. Ask yourself, why are they waiting? What do they gain from delaying? Second, never give away information just because silence feels uncomfortable. If someone is waiting, don't fill the void with words you'll regret. Third, pay attention to patterns. The person who always strikes at your weakest moment is not unlucky. They are watching, calculating, waiting. And finally, remember this: patience can be a weapon, but it can also be your shield. If you learn to master waiting, to delay your reaction, to sit in silence without fear, You become immune to their trap. Because the predator who waits cannot control the prey who waits longer. You've just seen one of the most powerful weapons of manipulation exposed. But this is only the beginning. Because every manipulator uses more than patience. They use silence, charm, fear, and empathy itself as weapons. So if you want to uncover every one of their hidden tools, subscribe now and join me in the next video. Because once you see the game clearly, you're no longer the prey. You become the wolf among sheep. Fortify your mind. Subscribe to the Inner Citadel.